Hey, it's Chris Angel coming at you again, and I wanted to talk about, look, how do we build an authentic brand? I think one of the challenges we run into in sustaining our lead generation efforts is that we don't usually enjoy them. They don't feel congruent with who we are, so we just don't do them, or we do them and then we stop. And what would happen is if we built a more authentic approach to how we grow our business in our lead generation efforts, I think we'd sustain it longer. I think we'd keep doing it. In fact, holy smokes, we might even enjoy it, right? So I wanted to share two very specific places to look to begin bringing more congruency, more alignment into your brand so that it feels and looks like you. So here are the two spots, right? The first place to look at a more authentic brand for yourself is in your strengths. And not just like I'm good with people, but like Marcus Buckingham, he's an author and used to work for the Gallup organization, has some great things to say, very influential in my thoughts on strengths. But what he said was strengths are things that when you do them, you feel strong. So look at your life, not even just business, but look outside of business. Look at life and what things in life do you do that when you do them, you feel strong. What are those things? Now, when you can identify 2, 3 to 5 of those things, start to look at how do you bring more of that into your lead generation, the growth of your business. How do you infuse that into your business more? Okay. For me, it's coaching and teaching. Like when I'm in front of people on a stage or in a podcast or maybe it's even this video, like this is what I love. I love this. This feels good to me. I feel strong doing this. Or if it's coaching and listening for what is going on in the life of a client, where are they stuck? How are they not in alignment right now with their business and who they are? Like listening for that and then collaborating and moving them in the right direction. Those are the things that make me feel strong. So what are those things for you? Where do you feel strong? Great. The second thing would be your passions. And your passions are the things that interest you, the things you love to do, the things that you do often. So there's a couple places to look for this. You could look in where you spend your money. You could look at where you spend your time. You could look at here's what I like. Look at the things that you already talk about on a daily or weekly basis. What are you consumed with? I often talk about it, find myself reading articles about fitness, body composition, things like that, as it relates to mostly food, but sometimes workout plans. But the workout thing, I like what I do there. So that's one thing. Red wine is another fun thing for me. I enjoy that. I love wine tasting. I love red wine. I think that's a fantastic thing for me. I love self-development, self-improvement. I love anything that deals with performance, peak performance. I also love business. So those areas are things that I talk about all the time. Now, if you can take the things that you're passionate about, the things that you love to talk about, and infuse that into your lead generation efforts, what it will do is it will attract other people that like the same things, right? Like you will end up, it's like a beacon that goes out into the world, and other people who recognize that go, hey, I like to talk about that too. Now, what happens is you start building a database of people who are in alignment with who you are. Like there are more overlap, there's more commonality in your database now than what most people have in their current database. Right? Most agents have a database that they sort of like imported everybody into, but there's no connecting theme that ties us all together. And so when it comes to me trying to follow up with you in my database, what happens is I talk about market statistics, or I talk about, postage going up, or I talk about different, like, hey, it's barbecue season, but you may not in my database be interested in barbecue season. And so what ends up happening in my marketing efforts or my communication plan or my nurture sequence is that I send content out into the world that doesn't resonate with the people in my database. And so it falls flat. So look, if you want your marketing to resonate more with the people in your database, then you need to build a database with people who have similar passions to you. We've built our databases backwards in this industry. We kind of like found a bunch of people, put them in there, and then sent them a bunch of real estate stuff. What would be more impactful is if you created a community or a tribe of people who liked the things you liked, and the way that they came into your database was by you building community around this topic that you already like to talk about. That, gang, is, I think, how we can start to begin, that's clever. It's how we start to build a more authentic brand, okay? Your brand will not only look and feel like you, but you're going to have a better time. You're going to enjoy the process of building that because it's coming from a true place. It's coming from a place that means something to you. All right. I'll hit you up next week with more tactical stuff, but I wanted to make sure, like, what really matters to me, where I feel strongest and what I'm most drawn to is the stuff that's under the surface. While the rest of trainers and influencers in this industry teach above the surface, they're teaching the how-to tactical stuff, which I do as well. Where I'm passionate, where I feel like there's a difference to be made is what's beneath the surface. And how do we begin to take all of these things we're taught and make them feel more authentic and congruent to who we are? All right? So I want to make sure that I'm infusing that into these messages or these videos for you, so that you don't just end up with a big to-do list of like, okay, now I got to create a postcard and now I've got to go out and call people. And it's about where you do that from, the place that you do that from. And when you can do it in a place that is in alignment with who you are, you'll keep doing it, you'll enjoy it, and you'll actually get results because it will resonate with the people that you're reaching out to. All right, gang, it's Chris Angel, and I'll catch you on another one.